What's good, YouTube? It is your girl, Taylor, aka Emo Brat, back with another video. And I am excited to be here. So make sure you guys like, comment, share, and also subscribe. Because, bitch, we at 200 motherfucking 50. We need to be at 300 motherfucking subscribers. Brokey. I talk a lot of shit. He like who you think he is, nigga, not your bitch. So, you guys, I'm back today with another video. And if you read the title, today I'm going to talk to you guys about how I figured out that I have ADHD. And I know that a lot of people are like, girl, you're normal, you're fine, you're okay. But I'm going to give you guys the backstory on how I figured it out and how I found out and how I already did know, and yeah, so forth and so on. So stick around and watch this video while we record this video. Well, stick around and watch the damn video, bitch. Okay, got you. Okay. So let's talk about it. Back when I was a little bit younger, I've always had a hard time to be able to focus. I had a hard time focusing, a hard time completing things, which means like I was very big on starting things and never really finishing things. I get bored so quickly, which means I jump from task to task, thing to thing, and I'm constantly pivoting when I get bored. Even that also is not just in work life, but it also matters in my dating life, because if I'm bored, I will literally go find something that makes me have fun. I am full of life myself, and I tend to meet other individuals who are not as full of life as me, which I know that they're the wrong people to be dealing with. That's why I no longer deal with people like that, right? So long story short, like, I'm the life of the party. I come to the party, bitch, I'm the life. And I have such a big and huge character that, if somebody's boring, I can't continue to keep dealing with them. And I've met men where I was talking to them and they were boring as fuck to me. And I just couldn't continue to keep dealing with them. And they didn't have any communication skills. They were good listeners, but they just didn't say shit back, bitch. And I can't do that. So that affects me in dating. It affects me in my family life, because I'm an out of sight, out of mind type of person as well, which means if I don't see you, if you don't pop up at my phone, you ain't calling me, you ain't checking up on me, I ain't doing the same thing. And it sounds like matching energy, but it's really not. It is literally a habit of someone who has ADHD, where if something is out of sight, it's literally out of mind. And that's me. Just friendships, relationships, all types of stuff. I'm like that, okay? I'm actually pretty forgetful on things that I don't even entertain. And I'll give you an example. Like, every year I have to relearn how to swim, because if I start swimming and then I get really good at it, because I'm compulsive sometimes, where like I'm hyper focused on trying to achieve something. So I'll be very hyper focused on learning how to swim. I'll swim, and then, the season changed. So it's a long season where we don't swim. And then I'll end up forgetting how to actually swim. And then the whole next year, when it's time to swim again, I have to learn all over again how to swim. Sounds strange, but it has been a thing that has always happened all my life, right? So, let's really talk about me not being able to stay in a place long enough or do something long enough. I noticed all my life, no matter what kind of task that I do, I'm constantly always pivoting because I get bored with the task. Now, there are some tasks that I do achieve because I really want to achieve those tasks, and it takes me to really want to achieve those tasks. But I have a hard time doing it. I did that in school. Like, my attention span was like a fucking thin piece of line, like a thread. It was really just like, I can pay attention, but if it's not interesting, not for too long. This also showed up in the curriculum classes that I chose in school. Like, technically 6th and 7th grade, I would have never graduated if I never because I never showed up to gym, because gym was just not my thing. I'm a person, if I don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it. And that is good and bad, because I don't feel obligated to do anything that I don't feel need to do. But at the same time, it was bad because I guess the way the system works, you know, if you live in a system-based mindset, you'll assume that she's just a bad child. She doesn't listen, which in all actuality, I just didn't enjoy gym, right? And it's okay. Everybody doesn't enjoy the same thing. It does not matter if it's healthy, if it's fitness, it does not matter what it is. I genuinely just never enjoyed gym, and I did not care for it. Only time that I would show up to gym was when I was doing like when they were doing dodgeball, field day, bitch, the shit that was actually fun, climbing walls. I'm all for that. But outside of it, I'm not a gym person. I am now. The more older that I get, I have been getting in the gym, learning how to appreciate health more, because health is wealth, you know what I'm saying? And you're no good if you're no good for anybody. You're not good for anyone else if you're not good for yourself. So minor gym shit I still do. I get up and try to do at least $500 calories walking, and try to walk as much as I can, because mainly I work from home. Eventually I'll be working in my office and stuff like that. So, you know, I just never showed up to stuff that I genuinely did not like. As well as what we're talking about, being forgetful. That'll be the next topic. But I almost didn't graduate, and the only way I ended up graduating was because even though I didn't show up to gym, I showed up to music class. And so they sat down in the office, my mom, the principal, and the principal told my mom, well, pretty much I was getting ready to fail. And basically he was like, well, you know, if she doesn't, so where is she most of the time? And I'm like, mainly I'm in the music class. So he was like, yeah, sure. So what we'll do is set up an appointment, you know what I'm saying, for the music teacher to come in. And he calls the music teacher a few days later. They came in, we all came in and talked about it. And long story short, I didn't have to tell the music teacher anything. The truth was the truth. I really was inside of fucking music class. That was what I did. You know what I'm saying? Like, I enjoyed music. I enjoyed art. So I was always in music or art class. That is my favorite class. That was one of my favorite class. So anything that's not entertaining to me, people, things, business, anything that eventually becomes boring to me, I cannot deal with. That is also why I'm very careful on who I date, because it's like I require somebody to have that same balance as me, as being as entertaining. I don't mean every second of the moment of life has to be entertaining, but at least 99%. 1% don't gotta be entertaining, because at 1% I ain't gonna want to do shit. You know what I'm saying? But at least 98 to 99% of my life has to be entertaining. And it has to be because it's a dopamine thing for me, which also goes into ADHD, right? Where we seek dopamine. And I noticed that a lot of the times when I was younger, developing, I would want to have sex a lot, right? And I would want to have sex to get this dopamine rush, like, oh, it was fun. But after, it's kind of like this crackhead effect, where after you kind of you're searching for a high that you're never going to find again. Or even if you find close to it, it's still not going to be that full high. It's just going to be a replica, kind of like somewhat the same of the high that you're looking for. So it was the same thing through every other situation. So social media for me, where I would get online and want to, you know, talk a lot and talk to people or interact with people, because it was a dopamine drive for me. If you guys notice, when I used to do YouTube full time, I used to do long ass videos, and still do now, but I talk a lot because that's a part of my brain. Like, this is the way that I let it out. And because I don't have anybody close quarter to communicate all of this with, I use social media in a sense as my way to be able to communicate how I'm feeling, what I'm going through, kind of like my let out. And some people may say, oh, that's crazy, you shouldn't use social media, but you should use wherever you can fucking use to pretty much get out what you're feeling. And also, it did way more than just expose my information or things that I have. It allows me to learn how to speak to speak, post consistently. It teaches you other things. It's not just about exposing my information. So I do use social media as a let out in a sense because I don't have physical people that I hang around, which is not a good thing. And it's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing because I know my values and who I will and will not accept around me. But it is a bad thing because it takes community to build absolutely anything. And a lot of the things that I am looking forward to building does take community. So, I'm very big on now understanding that I don't really have trust issues. I just had trust issues with the people that I did have in my life. I made the wrong choice by selecting those specific people at the time or even giving them access to me at the time. So as far as that, me not doing things I don't like, that's real. I don't do shit that I don't want to do. And that's been me, and it's still kind of me. Not kind of, it's me, period, bitch. Now next, being forgetful. I am very forgetful. I remember a lot, but I forget a lot. I cannot tell you half of the shit that happened in high school. I can only tell you the trauma moments that happened in high school. I can't even tell you a lot of the situations that has happened to me within the ages of, I would say, 18 and below. I'm now getting ready to turn 27 in a few days, December 22nd. Woo! But a lot of stuff I don't remember, right? And I have had family members and friends or past friends say to me, you don't remember when we went to go do this and that and this and this? And I say to them, no. And they think I'm probably like joking, but I really did not. I don't remember stuff, which I sometimes have terrible memory, right? I guess it's called short-term memory loss, and it's not intentional. It's literally, it plays a part again within the ADHD, right? I be forgetful. And people bring up shit that has happened multiple times to me, and I still cannot remember. I've even remembered my my younger god sister saying to me, hey, do you remember when we were doing this? And I was like, no, what are you talking about? And she thought I was joking, but I really truly wasn't joking. So short-term memory, I'm getting more better with that because I'm starting to organize myself. And then this is where it stemmed from, of me knowing that this was a problem, because I was so unorganized, or I would try to organize myself and it would not work out the way I planned for it to work out, right? It would not, it just would not work no matter how much I tried. I tried to create a schedule. It did not work out. And the reason why is because I was trying to create a schedule based upon a neurotypical person's mind. If I'm a neurodivergent, that means my frontal lobe cannot process or does not give out enough push for me to really follow through with certain things, which leads to procrastination, possible depression sometimes. And there's times that I did, I've even had a depression that lasted me 3 straight years. But again, being unaware that I had ADHD, I was not aware that these were the causes to, or I would say, of course, situations happen that cause it even more, but these were actual signs of ADHD and not being able to really function and flow the right way, right? So I found that out. I found out about the ADHD because now that I'm getting older, a few years ago, it started to dawn on me, when you start hitting a certain age, new things start to hit you. You know what I'm saying? And it hits you mentally. Like, you start to be looking at your life and be like, oh, but something ain't right. I ain't doing the right shit, or, whatever. And I was like, yo, I have no discipline, no structure in my life. I'm just free flowing. I'm doing whatever I want to do. I'm constantly moving from place to place to place to place. Like, where am I going to find this sense of structure and peace for myself and discipline and barriers and boundaries and stuff like that? And so I didn't know where to find it because I ain't never really had to ever do it, right? So a lot of the times we fail to realize, or we don't even be knowing we're actually doing the thing that we really want to do, but we don't even know because we're not aware of what it actually is, right? So I didn't understand what boundaries was, and it took me to meet a friend of mine or I would say more of a sister of mine. And when I met her, she automatically within our friendship has set boundaries. And you get frustrated when somebody sets boundaries, especially if you're new to boundaries, or you're not really used to boundaries, or you've never really set boundaries for yourself. And it started with that. And with her setting boundaries, I started learning about what boundaries was. I started asking her more questions about it and started getting more clear. And the truth is, the more that I learned about it, I was like, yo, all my life I've been had boundaries. I just didn't even know that there were boundaries. I just thought I was being mean and rude and letting people. Now, I could have said a lot of things better, but I will say that that was me in the best way at the time. I knew how to set my boundary, right? Because that was just the only way I knew. Just blow up, bitch. You know what I'm saying? That was the way I knew to set a boundary with someone. So I started learning about that. Then in my life, I just was looking at my life, kind of taking a step outside of my body and looking at everything that was happening in my life. And I was like, yo, you don't really have no structure, no discipline, and no foundation to the thing that you're trying to do or the things that you're doing. And you're kind of like living day by day, which is okay in a sense. To someone who wants to just live a free-flowing life, that's okay. But if you expect yourself to get somewhere, you have to have at least a minor plan set in place so you know where you're going. And I didn't have any initiative goals or anything kind of written down. And of course, I was just unaware, not saying that I had a bad life, because I had a lot of bad experiences. But I will say to you that, writing it down in the Bible, it says that write the vision down, make it plain, right? He gives you the vision, write it down, make it plain. Some things may come into fruition at the moment. Some things may not come into fruition at the moment. Sometimes it just might be a minor delay, but it's never denied. And God will give you a plan 5 years before you actually end up stepping into the plan. So, I've learned to journal a lot of how I'm feeling, what God is speaking to me about, what's currently going on in my life, where do I see myself going? And then I also just let God work, right? I don't try to push the needle. I mean, don't get me wrong. I work to push the needle, but I don't try to force stuff to happen anymore. And I'm not perfect. I still have my minor, moments with that as well. But I will say, I've learned a lot about myself with finding out this whole ADHD thing, where I'm learning like, a lot of the things that has happened in my life, and to be frank, a lot of people that I've interacted with, it started to make me think, like, I think a lot of people knew I had that. And they used that and took it to my advantage. See, a lot of ADHD people were people pleasers. We please people. We'll give more than we receive. And we will give so much. We'll be best friends to a friend, and we will be so shitty to ourselves. Like, a lot of the times we talk very negative to ourselves. It's a lot of self-negative talk. It's a lot of just attacking ourselves. And I've done that for so long. And I had to, I was like, why am I constantly failing myself? Which in all actuality, again, I was trying to learn how to do things, or throughout my life, I've been trying to learn how to do things the normal way, and I'm not normal. And it is also not something to look down upon, like it's my situation, like it's a situation that's stopping me from elevating. It actually is something that can make me 10 times better than the average human being. And I always think out the box, and I'm always creative, and I always wonder why I just never fit in. Why, when I would apply for jobs, it was like I had hard times, hard issues in jobs. And of course, situations play a part, but these things played a part as well. So running in, just being around the wrong people, working the wrong job played the part. Taking less than I should be taking for myself played the wrong part. Not knowing my value, not knowing that certain jobs are just not for me, not understanding who I was, not really sitting down with myself and getting myself to be in a place where I was 10 times more self-aware. And it's crazy because people that were very close to me, I used to say little things to them like, yo, I think I have social cue problems. Like, I feel like I'm delayed in certain areas. but I don't know what it is. And so I've gone through life figuring it out. Come to find out, I reached out to my brother and asked him a question, and I was like, hey, have you, did you know all your life that I had ADHD or like any signs of it? And he was like, yeah, I would want to put the video, but I ain't trying to do all the editing. I'm sorry. But if I do, let me just say it like this. So the text message right here goes and says, yeah, I did know. Do you remember that you were constantly going to the doctors when you were younger? And I didn't remember that. And I only remember one thing when he mentioned that, which was when my mom said, yeah, they found out, they're saying that you have ADHD and they're trying to give you medication, but I don't want you to get on that because, that slows you down, as well as distraction, easily distracted. That is another part of ADHD. I'm constantly easily distracted, which is a good and a bad thing. And it's truly really on the more bad side because I could be doing something, working really, really hard, right? And in the midst of my working really, really hard, somebody can call my phone and I get off course for the rest of the day. Then depending on if they pull my energy, because I'm also an empath. So my energy, the people I hang around is kind of like my energy. I'm an ambivert, right? So my energy is based upon who I'm around. And if I'm around people who's draining my energy or doing something that is draining my energy, I have to go lay down. And once I lay down, I get to watch the TV. I get to scrolling. On social media. And then I get on there. They be supposed to be 10 minutes, turn into 20 hours, right? So it's good because I am a content creator. So I'm always observing content, which is research, right? So that's good because I'm always getting new ideas. But, and exploring and finding new things. But that's not good when task and work needs to actually be done. So what I did was, how I really truly fully find out was one day, I own my own business now. And one day, well, y'all know me to own businesses, but I own another business that I ain't going to give y'all the name to. But I own a business that is in development of growing even more and scaling. And in that business, I noticed these patterns of what I just explained to you guys, like lack of accomplishing stuff where I was doing things, but it was never really fully getting done. Not like I'm doing 100 things. Like I could be on here, then I get to spraying my hair, then I say, oh, well, let me fix my makeup. Oh, wait, let me go throw this in the trash because I forgot to throw it in the trash. Then it goes from throwing this in the trash, like, oh, well, let me go wash these dishes in the sink, right? And then it goes from, oh, wait, while I'm washing the dishes in the sink, let me go run to the bathroom. I got to pee. Oh, damn, I got to sweep the bathroom floor. Then I'm not completing anything. I'm doing a lot of nothing, So it really started to affect me with the work. Well, it started to get in my attention. I wouldn't say affect me, but get my attention the more work that I've been doing. And I'm like, yo, bro, I am not really here with it right now. Like, so one day I just closed the computer and stopped working. And I literally opened the computer back up. I laid down for a little bit. Like I said, one thing about me, overwork, lay down. Okay. I'm going to lay down after this video. But closes the computer, lay down for a little while, came back to the computer, and just started journaling how I was feeling. I'm like, yo, I keep setting schedules for myself and not actually accomplishing anything. I keep not sticking to it. I keep trying to this. I keep trying to do that. I keep trying to complete stuff, and it just seems to not work. Like, what do I do to push the needle? And then it finally dawned on me when I was writing that shit down. Taylor, you have ADHD. And then when it hit me, I was like, this makes sense now. So I started doing research. I started researching all through YouTube, all through watching regular people with ADHD, watching CEOs with ADHD. One of the most successful type of people who have ADHD. And I was watching their stories, watching TED Talks of people talking about ADHD. And I finally realized just every symptom, everything that they were talking about, not one thing missed. It was all a hit. It was like, oh, okay, that's me. I do that. So it started to make me really think my life. So just to get clear with y'all, I'm not fully diagnosed medically, but I'm clear on that I have ADHD. There's no going around the bush, right? Like this is a part of me and it's been a part of me. And I think for me personally, I would have navigated life totally different if I was 100% aware. I don't regret anything because everything happens. And even the moment of me figuring it out was the moment that I needed to figure it out. But I do say that I would have navigated life totally different because of the clearness and the awareness of that. So I do now because I am aware of it, and now I know, because if you know better, you do better. If you don't know better, you don't do better, right? But now that I'm aware of it, I have found a schedule that works for me right now, and that I've actually been consistent on, like not 2 weeks, not 3 weeks, like it's been a month. I've been posting content. I've actually been thinking of having so much room. Once I figured it out, it was like kind of things became clear to me. It's kind of like a kid in a candy store getting candy. And I was just like, wow, like this is me. And it was really me, So it became more clear to me, like, yo, you've been trying to do shit the typical way. And there's a lot of typical ass human beings. But you're different and you're unique, and you need to accept that and embrace that. Like, your mind may not push the way you want. And it's crazy because one of my favorite movies is called Limitless. And if you've ever watched Limitless, even though it has nothing to do with ADHD, if you watch Limitless, the way the structure of that movie is where you're kind of depressed and he pops his pill and he relies on this pill, and that pill ends up allowing him to tap into more sides of his brain. It's kind of a similar story about a person with ADHD where our brain is not producing certain dopamine, certain things, right? Certain, whatever it's called. And, where it's like as normal as the normal person, and like constantly I'm overthinking. I'm always thinking, overthinking, rethinking, thinking of overthinking and thinking. That's how my mind runs all fucking day. So when I found out about it, it was like me being a kid in a candy store, and I was really excited because I was like, wow, this is me. And now I can embrace the true me. I found my pack. I found the people who, and it's not to be used as a crutch, but to be used as like, I found my community. Like, oh wow, I shouldn't have made a schedule like that because it's not going to work for me, because that's the normal, typical mind to think, let me run on this schedule. And I don't run on that schedule. It makes sense now why my life has been so free-flowing, because I am I have to do some things that are free. I cannot be fully overly scheduled. I have to have free time, one, to relax, to re-energize, to regather my thoughts. It makes sense why sometimes I catch anxiety a lot. And people think I don't look like, oh yeah, you don't look like, you seem so confident you don't catch anxiety, but I do. And these are all the things that I'm now clear on. And I'm so glad that I got clear on these things, because it allows me to operate totally different, do things when I feel at my best. Like last night, I made this same exact video in bed and went to sleep while making the video. So clearly that wasn't a good moment, right? So like right now, I dedicated my day to making this video, even if it's one video, because I only have energy for one video, right? So I said, you know what, let me go ahead and make this one video, and maybe today I'll upload it, or maybe tomorrow I'll upload it. But I hope someone who might have watched this may have figured out they may have ADHD as well, because it's a lot of people who have it and is not aware of it, right? And wonder why they're constantly procrastinating, wonder why life is just not moving the way they want to. And I want you to go watch, if I can make any suggestions, I would love for you to go and watch the whole side of ADHD on YouTube. People have videos on YouTube where they have ADHD set up houses, like they set up their house specifically based upon them being ADHD. ADHD CEOs, ADHD employees, ADHD in general, ADHD in dating, ADHD in relationships and friendships and this and that and business. Go and watch that shit. I promise you, if you feel like, watch ADHD TED Talks. If you feel similar symptoms, you just might be a part of it. And if you do feel like you have ADHD or know you do have ADHD and are comfortable, comment below, because I want to kind of build a community, my own community, where I can talk to people who have these thoughts, and we can come up with, plans and stuff for our ADHD and kind of come up with it as a community. And that'll be like a separate community from my business, where I will feel totally confident to be able to communicate with people who might have similar issues as me. And I did wish that I was way more clear on this when I was younger. I have an appointment set to finally go and actually speak with a doctor in reference to it. And when I do that, hopefully they do offer me the medication, because I do want to take some medication, just not for long. I guess I wouldn't say, I don't even know what to say right now, but I want to take some medication, or take the medication just to kind of see what kind of difference it does for me. So we'll find that out, and I'll probably record that when I go and do that. But it was good talking to y'all. It's a good 32 minutes. Like I said, I talk a lot, but I'm glad that I got this video out the way and did it again. And like I said, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. Make sure y'all I'm thinking I'm on TikTok. Make sure y'all leave a comment on anything that you know about ADHD, maybe some anything on this topic. I would appreciate it. But I love y'all, and I will talk to y'all. I'm finna go lay down. Smooches later.